Steve, I want to bring you in because your former boss, former President Trump, was at the Economic Club of New York yesterday, Steve, and he laid out a bunch of policy ideas: less regulation, more energy production. He's going to kill 10 regulations for every one that is put into place. He doesn't want to tax tips, et cetera, et cetera. He really kind of laid out that blueprint, Steve, and we haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah. Well, let me just add one thing to what Joni was saying. I agree with her, but I would add that, if you look at the numbers, we're in a soft manufacturing recession right now, too. Manufacturing. What really bothers me about the shape of the economy is the makers of the economy, the people in construction and manufacturing and transportation and warehousing. Those numbers have been stagnant or negative for the last few months. Whereas, again, where are the jobs? Anything attached with government. Now, I'm not going to say that we are in a recession right now. We're headed to recession. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But remember, economists have been very wrong about that for the last year and a half. But I will say this: if we do go into a recession, then we're really screwed, because Biden is already running $2 trillion deficits. So what's the government going to do? Run $3 trillion deficits? I mean, we're really in a hole because of the financial mismanagement. In terms of Trump's speech last night, I mean, Tomas worked with Trump very closely. I thought Tomas, he knocked it out of the park. I thought he hit all the key buttons, punched all the key buttons. We got to produce more American energy. We have to get regulation down. I fell out of my chair laughing yesterday when Kamala Harris said, we're going to cut the red tape for small business. I'm like, what? This is a president who's added so many more regulations on business than any other president in history, and now they're saying they're going to cut red tape. So we have a real challenge ahead of ourselves. I pray we don't go into a recession, but if we do, it's only going to make a bad situation with our fiscal situation even worse.
Yeah, Tomas.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't see a larger contrast here, I think, between the two candidates, which is unusual, how extremely different they are. Usually they fight for the same middle ground, essentially, to get all the voters. But they're so different. I think, Harris is going to basically tax her way now out of this weak economy, which is absurd in my view, relative to Trump, who's going to, try to stimulate this weak economy. I think the Harris people are, both her and her advisors have this weird view that there's a zero-sum game between business and labor, essentially, where business is the job creator and paying for job. It's like saying if you're selling your home, you don't want a lot of home buyers around. It's kind of crazy. So they have this view that also gets therefore implemented in these strange policies where they're pro-workers but basically hammering down on everyone who pays the worker.
Joel Schulman, a lot of these policies that the former president laid out yesterday would be music to investors' ears, Joel. He talked about lowering the corporate tax rate to 15%. It's currently sitting at 21% if companies operate and manufacture their goods and services within the United States. On the other side, he did talk about tariffs, which that's a kind of a mixed bag of opinion there, Joel. But he talked about the fact that there are ways to strengthen the U.S. economy, and he would do it on day one.
Yeah, right. Well, so we have the tax issue, and there's several taxes we have to consider. One is certainly at the federal rate, but federal level. But we also have to recognize that many of the states have been imposing quietly these additional taxes. For example, the state of Massachusetts has put on a 4% surtax to millionaires, and California has put on a tax on housing. And what happens is these additional taxes weigh in heavily, not only for people who are moving from point A to point B, but also to those who tend also the ones who tend to be the business owners who are hiring people. And so by taxing them more, you're giving money that they might otherwise use for hiring additional workers, and you're giving to the government that might choose to spend it on government spending. And so we're seeing a reallocation of the flows of capital. I would argue that it's most efficient to go directly from the business owners to the employees and help grow economy. Allow them to invest back into their inventories. Allow them to invest back in their IT and their support mechanisms. Don't give the money to the government, which we know is going to be inefficient and ineffective in how they spend the money. So the tax issue is paramount to what's going on, and it will continue to be so. And we're seeing poor allocation of resources, and this has been a problem that we've had for the last few years.
That's interesting. John Lonsky, I want to bring this to your attention. We're getting these new comments from Federal Reserve Bank of New York President John Williams, and he's making these comments, and the headline here is that the time has come to start these rate cuts. Nick Timrose in the Wall Street Journal reported about that this morning, that there's definitely thinking among voting officials that they feel that they need to, that they maybe have been behind the curve. All of this as we've got $35 trillion in debt right now.
Well, he's exactly right. The Federal Reserve's focus has shifted from worry about inflation to worry about the adequacy of economic growth. And these latest jobs numbers make it clear that the Fed will be cutting rates in September and for the rest of this year. And don't be surprised if, a year from now, you're looking at a federal funds rate of about 3.38%, if not lower. Interest rates are headed lower. They've got to go lower to prevent this economy from going into a deep and long-lasting slide.
Joni, one of the things that surprised me as I go through these numbers once again is the earnings story, because these average hourly earnings, that month-to-month number is a lot hotter than expected, stronger. And then the average year-over-year number for the earnings is stronger. Does that jive with what you're seeing in your data?
It surprises me as well, Cheryl, because what we're seeing is that employers have kind of put a pause on increasing wages. We are not in a very competitive job market that would drive up wages. And we're also not struggling with recruiting and getting people to work. We're at a point where we're starting to see more or actually less jobs. We saw the JOLTS report come out. It was revised down again. We're down to 7.7 million jobs in the U.S. and unemployment starting to climb. So I am surprised by that number. I'm not seeing that, on the front lines of employment with employers. I think they're just holding steady. Now, I will say employers are very focused on retention. They may not be hiring right now, but they certainly are trying to retain the workers that they do have. I think this uncertainty is making them think about, their workforce and benefits and flexibility, as you mentioned before, like how do they create great environments to hold on to the workers they have. But I don't see wages moving right now.
Well, I want to bring our viewers' attention once again. Take a look what is happening with the Dow futures. The Dow has now gone positive in the pre-market. We have erased what we had, which was triple-digit losses on the Dow and the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ was in worse shape than the Dow when we began the program this morning. Now the Dow is flat. S&P is now flat. We've got a quarter point up. NASDAQ is still trailing. But, Joel Schulman, this is a complete reversal from what we had.
Complete reversal.
I'm telling you, the bets are we're going for a half a point. And I have been talking about this for a while. Thank you for remembering.
You have been talking about, so kudos to you. And I think it's probably going to happen. Now, we've got to recognize, too, to the earnings point, and I think a lot of it, I think that's a very important number. And it goes back to a couple of things. One, I think, first of all, we've got to recognize that more than half the jobs of the Fortune 500 are coming from only 20 entrepreneurial companies. So the job growth is not equally distributed. It's not equally allocated. It's these entrepreneurial companies. And the earnings going up is consistent with this theme that these owners are cutting their costs, and they're doing it a variety of ways. And by the way, let's not forget that during COVID, the work from home movement disrupted the thinking among the business owners. And they're thinking, if my worker's going to be home and living in New York or Massachusetts or California at a high price, and I don't see them, I can also hire somebody that I don't see in a foreign market that's much cheaper. And I think that's what's going on. They're cutting their costs. They're doing so a variety of ways. They're using technology. They're using outsourcing. And the low-end skilled workers are going to the illegal immigrants who are getting paid for cash under the table. We're seeing a lot of this going on. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of this going on, and I think that's where profits are going up, and I think the mark's responding to profits going up.
John, there you go.
But mostly to the rate cut. To the rate cut.
This is all about the rate cut. Obviously, we have known that the labor market has been weakening all year. We have been seeing these numbers that have been coming in, and not just the numbers, but it almost became a running joke, and it's not funny that John Lonsky, we kept getting revision after revision. We got more revisions today. 61,000 in June, down. 25,000 in July, down. All of this means that this report, again, if it is down, John Lonsky, this has got to push the Fed's button to make the right decision. And I do think it's going to be a bigger cut.
It definitely does. And of course, the Fed has every reason to believe that this month's addition to payrolls will be revised lower yet again. And it's an important point that a lot of this earnings growth has been driven by cost cutting. And when you talk about cost cutting being responsible for earnings growth, you have to take into account that this implies that wage and salary income is eventually going to suffer. And if you are looking at lower than expected levels of employment income, that's bad news for consumer spending, bad news for home sales. And we not only need a rate cut, we need a 10-year Treasury yield close to 3%, never mind today's 3.7.
I got about a minute real quick. Steve Moore, final word.
I just don't think that rate cuts are going to solve our problem here. I mean, it could help in the short term. It's like a little shot of steroids, but you got a cancer patient here. We need, as Tomas knows, we need fundamentally to shift the direction of what's going on in Washington. It's an anti-business, anti-investor environment, and you've got a major presidential candidate who is anti-business, anti-investor. So we need to be doing essentially what Trump did that worked. We got to keep taxes low. We got to get control of government spending. We got to deregulate the economy. And why is it? Why is it? I asked this question last month. I'll ask it again. When you've got a federal government that's losing $2 trillion a year, when you have state and local governments now in fiscal deterioration, why in the world do they continue to spend to hire more workers? I mean, if you've got a private company that's losing $2 trillion, you don't go on a hiring spree. It's insane.